Senior Showmanship, exhibitor number 13. I think once again does a decent job with how they tap and handle that pig from that standpoint of the proper distance standing to the pig. Might want to be a little more aggressive to try to get that pig to move using that whip up towards that head. I think you're maybe just a little bit behind on the shoulder when if you tap up close to that head, that pig might respond a little bit better. And honestly, that pig maybe is not quite as cooperative that you might prefer for showmanship. But once again, you're doing a decent job there of keeping the pig moving. Try to keep your hand off the pig's back with that brush and maybe just a little more eye contact, but an excellent job today. Exhibitor number 14. Try to keep that pig to get its head up by tapping it a little bit closer there towards that face. I think once again, maybe your pipe or your stick there is just a little bit long. But once you get that pig's head up and get it moving, I think you do an outstanding job with your showmanship skills. Just continue, like I said, to keep that pig's head up and keep it moving. But once again, you do a great job with how you handle and you present your animal today for showmanship. Just work a little more towards looking at the camera if you can for some eye contact. Exhibitor number 15 has lots of intensity. You can tell by the way that they present themselves and the way that they look towards the camera. That pig maybe wants to not quite cooperate all the time and kind of wants to bolt and move in different directions. But you do an excellent job to try to keep that pig at a calm, slower pace from time to time. Just try not to let that pig run if you can control that. But in general, you have great control of your animal and you do a decent job with how you present yourself. Try to keep your hand off the back of that hog if you can. That will cause it to kind of roach up and maybe not be as presentable for showmanship, but great job with your presentation, intensity, and eye contact today for showmanship. Exhibitor number 16. Try not to tap your pig if you can there on the rump of that hog. In addition, try not to cross over the view of the camera by blocking the view of the hog. Great job with your presentation. I think you look happy to be doing that task today for showmanship. Just try to, once again, not tap the back of that rump of that animal and maybe tap a little more towards that head. Also, try not to use your knees if you can for showmanship. So just work on those things for in the future. I think you'll do a brighter future ahead of you by little things to touch upon. Exhibitor number 17, I love the intensity and the aggression, has a good control of that stick and can go back to forth on both sides of that animal. Does a great job with what we call showing all views of that animal, coming towards me, showing me a side, showing it walk away from me, showing me the other side. In general, does an excellent job with how they present themselves. A great job today. Thank you. Exhibitor number 18 does a good job. Needs to remember to try to use that whip and not necessarily push and tap with that brush. It is important to have a brush, but maybe don't use it as the method to drive your animal. Try to use that whip if you can. It does appear the pig wants to kind of ride the fence and it makes it harder for showmanship, but you did a great job today. Thank you. Exhibitor number 19 is an excellent showman. Once again, needs to keep that pig moving. So she wants to tap it looks like towards her legs. Try to tap it away from your feet. Might do a little bit better job for her in the future. That pig just doesn't really want to move, so you might have to tap a little harder up towards its face. In addition, try not to use your knees if you can for showmanship. But I think once again, your dress attire is appropriate and you've done a great job with some eye contact today. The pig just doesn't want to cooperate and move for you for showmanship. Exhibitor number 20, I think, does a good job with how he presents himself with his animal. The pig maybe isn't quite wanting to get out and move as well because it's probably on stone. You might want to show it and walk that hog on grass or some sawdust or some bedding of some kind. But it looks like the pig in general does a fairly good job with how it presents himself, and so do you. You maybe get a little frustrated and it kind of shows in showmanship, but I think in general you have the fundamentals down. Maybe just work on a little bit more on eye contact if you can, looking towards that camera, but excellent job today with how you present yourself. Thank you. Exhibitor number 21 has appropriate dress attire and does a great job. The pig needs to continue to move if you can, so maybe tap it just a little harder up towards that head and that neck to keep that hog rolling for showmanship. Try maybe not to kind of rest that hand on the back of that hog if you could, to try to just keep that other hand away from that pig. That's the purpose of kind of that whip, is to keep the hog moving. So if you can do that as well. But once you get the pig going, you certainly got the fundamentals down. Work a little bit more on your eye contact, and but excellent job trying to show me the different views of your pig. That certainly is important for showmanship today. Thank you.